Pound yen, pound Jappy. Okay. Broke this area. I drew this out I think about 3 days ago. I had a couple scenarios here. So it didn't come down to 183. It just kind of went flat and then ended up just breaking up. So I was looking for a break and retest. You didn't really get the retest yet. You kind of just got price pushing up against this area and then finally a big bullish candle through it. So there was no actual retest. So there wasn't a perfect entry, but just based on momentum, I mean, you could have got in on it. So let's just delete these and we'll clean this up a bit and see if we can look for a bullish entry now. So price did break this 184 level. It is currently quite a bit above. On the daily here, you got this nice big bullish candle yesterday, which kind of signaled that, yeah, we broke the zone. And I mean, this actually is pretty perfect. It's literally sitting right on top of it. You get this huge wick through it, so it completely tested this entire zone and said, no, we don't want it, we're going up. So now today's pulling back a little bit, so you might actually get a bit of an entry soon. I do think pound yen you're good to buy, like just you could buy it now, I think, but we'll look for a perfect entry. I do think it's just going to go up for the rest of the month most likely. Ideally hitting 188.5, which would be the monthly range. We can delete this 183 marker, delete all these. So the only thing is you got to keep in mind there might be some sort of pullback. So you got this nice bull run. We're already on day 7 of just straight bullish. So might pull back a bit at some point. My first area is this 184 area, to be honest. I would probably just drop this down a little bit, delete this zone, and just look for something within this area. I would look for a pullback into it and just see if price rejects. If you want the perfect price, if you want to take small positions and just basically consider that pound yen's going to be higher at the end of the month than it is now, which is kind of what I'm doing. You could just take your position now, but I mean, I do see price like eventually pulling back a little bit. Most likely, it might not, but with these yen pairs, usually once they're moving, they're pretty good at just going up, so or down if that's their trend. But I would look for price to come down to this area if I was looking at getting a perfect position kind of thing. If we look at all these moving averages, yeah, price is way above this 1 hour moving average. So like eventually it's going to most likely try to fill this gap at least a little bit between moving average and price itself. So, but there's little areas of support all the way through. So I mean, price could this could be the pullback from here down to here, and then that could be it. So keep in mind these little zones that appear. The higher the time frame, the more significant the zone. So I mean, there's this one. This is an upper zone, which once was an upper liquidity area, now kind of functions as resistance here. So I mean, this could be your zone. I would always look for whole levels as well. So this is your 184. And then we'll mark this out. So that's your 184. I mean, that would probably be my primary kind of pullback entry that I'd be looking for, is this zone. 184 might come down to, so it might hit the bottom of this zone. You got this area here, which you could even extend for these wicks as well. So yeah, basically this whole between 184.36 and kind of 183.43. So it is quite the spread between these two areas. But that's what I would look for, is just a pullback into that area if I was looking for a perfect price. You can see this 4 hour is pulling back, but the previous one's pretty big. So, or if you're just looking for to enter on something based on like a momentum, which you could totally do as well. I would just actually go like this. Oh, that's only the 1 hour, so 4 hour here. So here's your little zone here, your recent liquidity zone, kind of at 185.30. So just wait for price to break this area and then close above it, I would wait for a 4-hour candle to a close above it. Even if it's at least like half the candle is above the zone, you're probably good to go. And then you can just take a momentum trade kind of thing like this. You're not going to get your perfect price. Perfect price would probably be down in this area somewhere once it pulls back, but I mean, at least you catch this on the run. So it really just depends on what you want to wait for, and then just target all the way up to 188.5, which is the monthly range. So seems like a lot, but this pair does move a lot. So, and you kind of have this zone in mind here. This is a monthly area of liquidity and resistance, which is massive. So as soon as price kind of comes into this zone, I do feel like it'll at least push halfway up. So probably your 187 level kind of thing. Then you might start running out of steam then. So it might not make it up to 188.5, but that is my monthly range. So that is my target. But this zone you can see is pretty significant. So once price hits this area, right around like 187, I would say it might start slowing down. So we got to keep that in mind. But as far as right now, I think you're good. You can see this monthly candle is really starting to shape up good versus last month. So we'll just see how much this pushes up, and then yeah, like I said, you can look for this momentum move once price breaks this area, or just buy it now if you want to take a small position and you're not concerned about any stop losses or anything. I mean, you do kind of have this area here to protect you a little bit, so I do think that's okay. So, but yeah, if you're waiting for a perfect price, wait for the pullback into this area. I'd shoot for 184, and then look to enter that long position to 188.5. So that is pound yen.